Hi folks, this is Karim Raouf from Interactive Visualizer channel. We will continue our lab, the Terminator lab. This is the video number 49. I'll be discussing in the previous video the following. We have discussed how we can add a new add-on to the MDT, which is PSD or PowerShell Deployment Module, which will help us to use the MDT service through the cloud. And we have said that the PSD module uses the HTTP and HTTPS protocol to communicate the clients with the server through the cloud. So when the MDT server will be on the cloud, it will communicate with the clients maybe on premise or on the cloud itself like AWS or Azure. It will communicate using the HTTP and HTTPS. So we have discussed how we can install this add-on to the MDT, what are the advantages of using this kind of module, and we have prepared a capture task that will be created through the PSD module, okay, and then we will use it to capture a Windows Server 2022 standard edition Microsoft operating system with some programs installed on it. So we will install PowerShell 7 and CMTrace, and then we will capture an image of the Windows Server and the programs, and then we will deploy it. All of this will be done through the PSD module. So the previous video we have stopped at creating a capture task for the Windows Server through the PSD module that is an add-on to the MDT. So let's continue and see how we can create this task. And after creating the task, we need to focus on one thing. We need, after creating the task, okay, to have done all of this. We have done already the bootstrap.ini configuration, the custom setting.ini configuration, importing the drivers. We have done this. We are now at the task itself. We have imported the operating system, which is Windows Server 2022. We need to create the task. After creating the task, we need to begin configuring the web server. Okay, we have already the IIS, which is a service that will enable our MDT to be a web server. This is already configured because we have our WSOS working as a web server. So the web server service is already installed. After making the task, we need to configure the CA certificates to secure the connection between the web server and the clients, and then the web dev, which is another service that will help us to transfer, modify and create files on the web server. So we need to configure these two services after finishing the PSD task sequence. And we have discussed before that the structure of the PSD task sequence is different than the normal MDT task sequence. Uh, the normal MDT task sequence is divided into a couple of sections. First is the initialization, then the post installation, then the installation, then it is not, sorry again guys, the MDT task sequence is divided into a couple of sections. The first section is the initialization phase, then the pre-install phase, then the install phase, then the post-install phase, then the state restore phase, then the custom task phase. Okay, this is the MDT normal task sequence sections. As for the PSD, it's only 3 or 4 sections. It is the initialization phase, then install phase, then setup phase, then the custom tasks. So we can see there is different structure of the task. We can see here that there is only two major sections, is the install and then setup. Okay, there is no pre-install, there is no post-install. Okay, so this will not uh, will not be an issue for us. We can consider that the install operating system phase combines, for example, the pre-install and install phase in one section, which is pre-install and install. Okay, and as for the setup, we can consider it as or combining the post install phase and the state restore phase in one section. So we can consider that. Okay, so let's continue and see how we can configure the task. Here, this is the task. Remember, we will do a capture task. We will take the same normal capture task that we have done in the normal MDT module, the same, we will do it again, but we will not work with the same sections. For example, in setting the high performance power mode, we can set it in the installation phase and the setup phase. Okay, here we can see that it is in the pre-install, which is not there anymore. Okay, so let's see how we can configure this capture task based on the new sections in the PSD module. Okay, so you can see, for example, this is set driver pass for the drivers, okay, for the virtual machine or the physical machine. Generic driver pass, fail back driver pass, all of these are related to the drivers. We will not work with it. Okay, we have already or we will not inject any drivers because this is a capture task. Okay, we do not need any drivers to be captured. Okay, because this image will be deployed to different sets or different models of PCs and virtual machines. Okay, so now we will begin the process, okay, of creating the capture task. So here, for example, I am disabling the Windows Update because this will be done in the deployment task. We don't need the Windows Update through the capture task. Okay, so as for injecting the drivers, here it will be from the selection profile. I think you can put the Lenovo here anyway. So we will continue. Here is the task. The first thing we need to add is the set power high performance power mode. Before that, uh, because I didn't begin creating the task in order, here we are adding a couple of steps concerning installation of the applications that we have added the previous video. So we need to add steps to, for example, install the PowerShell 7, install the CM Trace, install Visual Studio, all what that we have added in the previous video. Okay, so this step to install the CM Trace, and you will rename it. Someone asked me why you don't take or copy the steps from a ready-made task. We have done these steps before in a previous task, the capture task in the normal MDT module. So I was very cautious because this is a different module, and I don't know if the copy process will be working perfectly. So I am creating the task from scratch. Okay, so now we have added the CM trace, then the .NET frame. Okay, and then we can name the task. Install net, not frame, net.NET runtime. Okay. Okay, so we can copy the name, and then remember to go to the options and tell him to continue on error, even though this will not stop the task, and this should not be checked because we should stop if there is an error. Okay, in the task, of course. Now we are adding the applications, so we can add the age and then add the image state. We will add all of the programs that we have added or we have injected in the previous video. Then continue on error. Okay, so now we can add another application, which is the image state. This will help us to prepare the machine for sys prepping. Okay, Okay, this is PowerShell 7 and then continue on error. Okay, we have another application missing. I think uh, there is the Visual C. As we can see here, if all of these steps are in the setup operating system section. In the normal MDT, this was under the state restore, okay, or after the state restore. So this is done in a different section in the normal MDT module. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, this is the Visual C. Okay, this is the name, and then continue on error. So we have all of the applications added. Now we can begin the task from the beginning. We have to set the high performance power mode. We should put it in the install phase and in the setup phase. Okay, as we don't have pre-install phase, so this will be done in the setup phase. Okay, we'll add it twice, one in the setup phase and one in the install operating system phase. So here I forgot and added in the initialization phase. This is not correct. You should add it in the install operating system phase and the setup phase, the set high performance power plan. Copy, this is the name. Okay, this is not the command line. This is, you should put it in the name. Okay, and this is the command. We have discussed this command before. So here as I told before, I removed the step and put it in the setup phase, and it also should be added in the installation phase. Okay, because in the installation phase the laptop should be in its maximum power. Okay, during the installation and during the setup we need both to add the step set high performance power plan. Okay, so now we can tell him to continue our error, so we can continue with the task. Here we can begin like disabling driver searching. We can put it in the setup mode because this will be done after installation of the system. Okay, this is in the state restore section, so post install section is before it, so this means that our installation is successful. So we should put the disable driver searching in the setup section. Okay, disable drive searching, we have discussed this, all of these steps we have discussed before when we were working with the normal MDT module. So please refer to this video. So here we will add another line or run a command line. So we'll do that, and this is the name of the task and name of the step, and then this is the command line. Okay, so we'll put it here and then tell him continue on error, apply, and then continues the task. Okay, start audio service. This will enable the audio service on the server. Okay, so we'll add another line, and then we will put the command. Okay, and then continue on error, apply and okay. Then we'll add other step or the next step, okay, which is sync time with the server, or sync the time of the server with sync the time of the machine with the MDT server. Okay, so the machine that we deploy or capture the operating system of it, will sync its local time with the MDT server, and the MDT server already has its time synced with the domain controller. Okay, so we'll continue. So 15, this is the IP of the MDT server. Okay, so now we need to continue the steps. Okay, server manager option. This uh, will make the server manager not pop up automatically when the user log into the machine. Okay, this is uh, this is why we add this step, so the server manager pop-ups automatically, or auto loaded automatically. Okay, so during the login of the user, so we need to prevent that. We can open the program manually, don't need it to open automatically. Okay, so this is continue on error. So now we can continue working with the task. Now we set high performance power plan, then set server services. This is also, we have discussed, this is a script that, or PowerShell script that will run or make sure certain Windows services are up and running. Okay, important services, of course. Okay, so we'll add the line, and then again continue on error. And then here need to make sure that the scripts, so this is a PowerShell script, we should make sure it is in the right folder in the PSD production. Okay, so it is in the folder of scripts. Okay, here it is not there, so I needed to copy it from the capture folder and copy and put it in the PSD production folder. Okay, so if we go back in the PSD production, this is the PSD module folder. If we open scripts, we need to put it here. Okay, and go to the task or the step and tell it to get it from this section. Okay, or from this folder. So we need to go and modify the location. So here, if we go to the properties, we can see here that it is in scripts custom. There is no custom folder in the PSD production. Okay, there is only script. Okay. Apply and okay. So we have everything configured. Now we need to remove evaluation. Okay, so this will be a line that will insert a key to remove the evaluation period for the Windows Server. Okay, because this is an ISO image downloaded from Microsoft, and the operating system downloaded from Microsoft is only a trial version for 180 days if you do not insert your license key. Okay, so we need to insert the license key to remove the evaluation period for the Windows Server. So this is a line, and then we will add remove evaluation, and then put the line or put the command that will insert the key or the license key. Continue on error, properties, apply and OK. Then we can continue working with the task. For example, we need to restart the computer after the evaluation, okay, after we inserted the license key. Okay, and then we need to add net frame 3.5. Okay, so we need to choose the operating system, okay, Windows Server, and then add the net frame 3.5, which is normally needed in most operating systems, servers or workstations. Okay, so we can go and not frame 3.5. Here it is. We need to choose it. Okay, and then apply. And then we can take the name to enable .NET Frame 3.5. We can name this step enable .NET Frame 3.5. Apply and OK. Continue on error. Okay, now we can continue the task. So here we have added all of these. We need also to enable BitLocker, not to enable BitLocker, to enable the feature of BitLocker. Okay, so this is different. We will enable the BitLocker feature, but we will not encrypt the drivers. Okay, so we need to add another step to enable BitLocker encryption or driver encryption role. Okay, so here I'm just ordering or reordering the steps. So we will add another install no roles. Yes, install role. We will add the BitLocker driver encryption. Okay, install BitLocker. Here is the BitLocker driver encryption. Okay, so you have everything up and running. Now we should here go to this section. We have done all of these steps, but we will reach the step for suspending the task sequence. Here we will have a problem. In this section, we will see that there is suspend task sequence. We have done this in the normal capture process or in the normal MDT module. We add a task or add a step in the normal MDT task sequence, which is to stop the task if we need to do manual things during the capture process. So this will stop the task. This script, okay, or LTI suspend Windows script file, this is not in the PSD module. All of the PSD module depends on PowerShell scripts. So if you go to the script folder in the PSD module, you will not find this script. Okay, so if what does this mean that we cannot use this script anymore in the PSD module? No, you can. So what we will do, we need to go to our capture share folder. Okay, we have done this before. We need to go to the capture share folder. Here is the, just a moment. So this is the scripts, and this our capture share folder. In the scripts folder, we need to go to the LTI. Here is the LTI suspend. We need to copy it, okay, and go to the PSD module folder, okay, in the scripts folder, and then paste it here, okay. So we'll paste it here, and then we can go and add, or we can add this step, okay. And we can add, by the way, most of the other scripts. So for example, if we go again and see, if we go further, let me see you something here. Here we don't have this script in the PSD module, and you don't have the clean batch file that will clean the WSOS updates after installation, WSOS source installation files. We don't have this in the scripts folder, so we need to copy it and put it there. And the same for the deployment bunny script. It's not also in the PSD module. These two are not in the PSD module scripts folder. We need to copy them from the normal MDT scripts folder and put it there, okay. So we need to do that. So if we go there and see, I have already copied them. This is the clean before sysprep and the clean bat. So we need to do this two, or to copy these two scripts in the PSD production folder under the scripts, okay. So we can, after that, create the steps and point to the location, okay. So I have not done this because actually I was suspecting that the PSD module will accept using scripts that are not PowerShell. Okay, so you can do that normally. So here you will see that I have already bypassed uh, a couple of lines in the task because I was suspecting that the PSD module will not accept WSF scripts or Visual Basic scripts. Okay, so I have already bypassed this step. Okay, so here I am only will make a restart, or to only take this step. We have already put the restart step. So the suspend task sequence, I will bypass it, but you can add it and you can work with it. Okay, so here what we will do, we need to add a restart after the age is installed. Okay, we will bypass this one, but you can do it. I didn't record it actually, but here I was not sure. So here I will go directly to the custom tasks and then begin working with the other steps. So here I try to use my mind. Here the script of suspending is not in the scripts folder. Okay, and here this is not correct. This is not PowerShell. You need to leave everything as is. I thought that I need to put PowerShell to run the script, but this is not correct. This will not run the script at all. Okay, this is a Visual Basic script, or this is not a Visual Basic script. This is Windows script file. You should use the wscript.exe file to run the Windows script files. Okay. So as you can see here, I cannot see the script in the scripts folder. Okay, so we can pass this real quickly. So here I will pass this step and then begin working with the custom tasks to add the uh, cleanup batch uh, batch script. Okay, we need to do that, but before that we need to make sure it is already in the scripts folder. This and the action cleanup before sysprep. Okay, these two should be in the scripts folder. As for the image state, this is already imported, so we can add it normally. Let me see how much time we have. I think we have 30 minutes. Okay, we can continue. So here we need to make sure that the clean batch, it is in the scripts folder. As you can see here, all of the scripts are PowerShell scripts. There is no Visual Basic scripts or Windows script files. Okay. So yeah, as you can see, I have already bypassed all of these steps, but this is not correct. You need to do that or do these steps because the capture process will not be done without these steps. Okay. So this is a command line. We'll make the clean. Okay, so we can say I have passed all of these. I go directly to the disable or to the driver, enable driver search. Okay, so this is, you need to do all of these. I have shown you all how you can do that. You need to add the image state reset program. This is by install application. You can add it. Okay, and then by this, the task is finished. We need to begin configuring the CA or the certificate authority server and issue a certificate for our MDT server and for the clients, so the connection between the MDT server and the clients is secure. Okay, and then enable the web dev feature. Okay, so now we need to go and open the PowerShell. But before that, I think there is something here we should do. Here is the server manager. Okay, so before configuring the CA or the certificate authority server, we need to add the web dev feature. Okay, so before working with anything or before working with the CA, so if we go again here, we will add the web dev. We need to add this, then we will install the CA certificates. Okay, so let's go and see how we can do that. Manage, then add roles and features. As we can see here, just a moment, here we can see the IIS is already installed because the W source used the IIS, so we have it already. So now we need to add the web dev. Okay, it's in the features section. If you go there and see the web dev, I think it's down. Here is the web dev redirector. This is the one. As you can see here, enables Windows-based programs to create, access, and modify Internet-based files. What are the Windows-based programs? The MDT. We will enable the MDT to create, access, and modify files, okay, on the web server. So this is basically what we can do. Enable Windows-based programs to create, access, and modify Internet-based file. This is to enable the MDT to work with the web server. Okay, so this is the web dev director. We need to add it and add another thing. Okay, or we add two web dev items. Okay, so after adding this, we need to restart our server. Next, then restart the destination server automatically. We should do that. Yes. Install. Okay, now it is restarted. Then we need to log in. This is the domain admin account. Okay, this is the password. Now we should pause the video until okay it loads. Then we can open again the server manager and add another uh, service related to the web dev. Okay, okay, now we can go again to add roles and features. So this is the web dev. Okay, it's already finished, but this is the finish. Okay, it's already done. Okay, because we have made a restart. Okay, so close. Now we need to add another service related to the web dev. Okay, we will tell him manage. Okay, but again until the loading finishes. Okay, we need to add again roles and features, and then open. uh, Tell him next, next, and then next again. Then we need to go to the web server IIS. Okay, this is the one. And then we need to go to the section of web server. Okay, again, and then common HTTP features. We will go there, common HTTP features, and then we need to add the web dev publishing. Okay, we need to add this feature. Why is this? Okay, enables you to publish files to and from a web server by using the HTTP protocol. Because web dev uses HTTP, it works through most firewalls without modification. We will not use HTTP, we use HTTPS, but this feature will enable you to publish files on and from the web server, and this is basically also used by the MDT. So the two features will be used by MDT to control the publishing, creating and modifying the files. Okay, so this is another thing we need to tell him next. Okay, then next, and then to restart if this is required. Then after finishing the installation of the web dev, we need to begin the creation of the certificate authority server. There is a script provided by friends of MDT. Okay, the website that we have got our PSD module from, they have provided a script to automatically install a certificate server and issue also a certificate. Okay, so let's open PowerShell and then begin the process of creating a certificate authority server. So right click and run as administrator, and then go to the folder that contains the script. By the way, if you don't have an IIS server, the Friends of MDT has already a script to do that. So this is Jonathan that I have taken his steps from. Here we will go to the folder that contains the scripts, and then we will use a script to create the certificate authority server. If you don't have an IIS, there is a script to create an IIS. Okay, so first we need to go and And before creating the certificate authority server, we need to configure our web server. So we have already installed the web dev feature, and now we have our web server ready, but we need to configure the web server to point to, or to create a URL to point to our deployment folder, or the MDT deployment folder, the PSD production. So we need to publish or create a URL that points to the PSD module folder that contains the scripts, that contains the ISO image of the Windows and the programs. So we need first to configure the web server. So we need to go to not this one, we need to go to the folder called PSD master. Okay, so this is the folder contains the scripts, and then we can see here a couple of scripts. We will use the set web instant. Okay, we have already our web server installed. We need to use this PowerShell script to create a URL that points to our deployment share folder in the MDT. If you do not have a web server, so you can use a new web instant to create the IIS. Okay, so we'll use the set web instant. Let's wait and see. Okay, and then we need to point to the PSD deployment folder, or the MDT PSD deployment folder, which is PS production. This is the location. Okay, PSD production, and then it will be published under the name of, or the URL will be under the name of PSD production. Okay, we will see that when we finish the installation, or we finish the configuration, we will see the URL in action. Okay, so this step will create a URL that points to our ePSD production. Okay, PSD production. And we will check the IIS console to see if this folder is already published or not. So press enter. So this will take a couple of minutes. Now this is finished. We can go to the IIS console and see if the folder is created or the URL is created. We can go to the start and then go to the administrative tools. Okay, and then we go to the IIS, or Internet Information Service. And then if we open that, we will see that there is a website, or this is the sites or the websites. One for the WSOS, which is an internal website, then the PSD production. Okay, we can see it here. This is the folders contained in the deployment folder in the MDT, the PSD deployment folder. We can see capture. This is where the capture image will be saved, operating systems out of the box. So it is now a URL. Okay, so this enables you to use it through the cloud. Okay, so now after doing that, we need to secure the connection to this website using SSL, which to implement it, we need to have a certificate. So this is why we will create a certificate server. So we can see this is basically now working with HTTP. We need to make it use the HTTPS protocol. Okay. So this is basically I am discovering the different options, but this uh, this will not help. So you need now to go and install the certificate server through another script. Okay, so we can go there and use the script to PSD root certificate. This will create a root certificate server. Okay, and the one under it will issue a certificate. So we will make a certificate server and issue a root certificate server, and then the second one will create a certificate for any client, not only for the server. Okay, so this will be used with the clients or servers. Okay, so root CA name will be PSD root. Okay, this will be the name of the server, root CA, and then we will issue a certificate. Its validation time will be 20 years. This is the root CA certificate. Validity period will be 20 years, and then we will uh, point, or we will save this certificate to the PSD production. Okay, so now let's wait and see if the certificate will be created or not. Press enter. Okay, now it is created. If we go to the folder of PSD production, to the folder of certificates, we will see the certificate issued already. So let's go and see the location of the certificate. If we go to this PC and then open the D, then sorry, not the D, the E, and then the PSD production, then we can open the PSD resources. We'll go to certificates. Here is the certificate. Okay, now we need to issue a certificate for the server or for the clients. This is the root certificate. I think this is for the server itself or for the clients, I don't know, but actually I think this is for, so you have two certificates, one the root CA certificate, and then it is bonded to the server certificate. Okay, so now we will add new PSD certificate server. You will issue a certificate for the server, our MDT server, I think. This is the name of the server, so we will issue a certificate for this server. So we have the root CA certificate, okay, and then we will issue a certificate from the root server, okay, and this is the name of the server we are issuing the certificate for. Name of the server, okay, Skynet.internal, minus friendly name, scan HQ MF01. This is the name or the full domain name of the server. So this is a certificate for the server. So we have created the root certificate server, and we have issued the root certificate server certificate. Then we will issue a certificate from this root certificate server. Okay, the validity period will be 2 years, and it will issue the root certificate from the root certificate server PSD root CA. Okay, so this is basically we are issuing a certificate for this server from the root CA server. And after issuing the two certificates, now we will be able to use the HTTPS protocol. Okay. It will take a little bit of time. You can pause the video until it finishes. So now we need to make sure that we have the two certificates installed, the root CA certificate and the server certificate. Okay, so we need to make sure of that. So we will run and then open a blank console and add the certificate console to it. This works on server or Windows Server, but it didn't work here for a reason. I don't know why. So I'm trying to get the root certificates to get the certificate console. Okay, but this wouldn't work. So I open a blank console and then tell him to add the snap-in for the certificates. Here we will add snap-in, and then we will add the certificates and see if we have the two certificates installed. So this is for the computer account, not the user account. Next, finish, then OK. Then we go to the personal certificates. We will see here is the root CA certificate and the server certificate. We have the two, okay, issued by the PSD root CA. Okay, we can see here that the pass root CA, and this is from the root CA. Okay, and we go to the trusted certificates. We will see that we have the root CA certificate. Okay, it is there already. This is trusted. Okay, trusted root certificates. Now we need to make sure or to make the web server use the HTTPS protocol. So now we have the certificate, so we need to go and edit permissions, edit bindings, and then here is the HTTPS edit. Here we can see that it is used. Okay, we have the SSL certificate. We will use it with this server. So we have the option to use the HTTPS protocol. Okay, after issuing the certificate. Okay. And by the way, I think we should remove the HTTP protocol anyway. So now we can exit, and we need to go and I think here we need to create the boot image. I think we need to go and create the PSD boot image, okay, and add it to the WDS. So we need to go now and do that. Okay, this is the PSD deployment. Okay, ESD or PSD production, not this one. This is not it. This is not. Here we make sure that there is a mistake here. This is the bootstrap. It is pointing to the capture share folder. It should point to the deployment share folder. This was a problem during deployment I have faced because the bootstrap.ini was not correct. Anyway, we will do properties and then we go to the rules. If you go to bootstrap, here we can see that we have already created this website. Okay, it is now created and it was working now. Okay, this is created in the IIS. So we need to create the boot image, and then the last step is to compress the drivers, okay, for any virtual machine. Create the drivers, out of the box drivers. We need to compress the drivers. So we see the custom setting to TINI. Everything should work perfectly, just revising the setting. Okay. So we have everything working. Here we can see that here with join work group, this is not, we should uh, remove this because this will appear in the deployment. Join work group, we should remove this step because we have already login user, or should join work group tell him no, we need to add a step for joining the domain. Okay, these are the user that will be used to deploy, but these are not the users that will join the PC to the domain. You need to have a section for joining the PC to the domain. So this will put the PC in a work group. Remember that, okay? And we need to have the final finish action to shut down the machine after the capture, okay? Anyway, so we need to now go and create the boot image, right click and properties, update, and then to completely regenerate the boot images, tell him next. This will take some time. Okay, and then pause the video. Now the boot image is created. We need to add it to the WDS. Finish. Now add the boot image to the WDS. You can open administrative tools. Okay, before that we will compress the drivers. Okay, the Lenovo drivers will be compressed as WIM. Okay, and we can at the same time as add the boot image, we can open administrative tools and open the WDS. Okay, here is the deployment services, and then add the WDS, or sorry, add the boot image. So we go to servers and then add the boot image. We have two, the capture boot image, the deployment boot image, and then the PSD deployment boot image. So we'll go to the PSD production. Okay, back, PSD production, and then we go to the boot. Okay, and this is it. Tell him next. PowerShell deployment boot image. Next, next. Okay, then finish. So we need to run the last script to compress the drivers for Lenovo. Okay, so here is the script that will make a driver package, compress the driver package .wim extension. So we need to go to the folder PS master. Okay, this is not correct. So this is not correct syntax. Okay, okay. PSD master, not PSD production, so this is not correct. PSD master that contains the scripts, so this is not correct. So we will again, this is not also the correct file, so we need to go one step out, cd cd two dots, then cd PSD master, okay, and then dir, and then we go to the tools section or tools folder, okay, and then use the last one to PSD driver package, okay, new dash PSD, okay, and then we need to identify the deployment folder, which is eProduction or ePSD production, then space, then compression type WIM, okay, we need to remove the slash, okay, okay, so we can see that now it is compressing the drivers, so we can check and see the location. If you go to the folder PSD production and check and see the drivers, we can go to the E, okay, and then go to PSD production, we remove first, these are the normal drivers, these are not compressed, so we can go to the PSD production and see PS resources, and for the driver package here we can see Lenovo PE, this is the WIM, or it is compressed. If you open, this is compressed one, if you open it, we will see all of the drivers here, they are compressed, okay, Bluetooth display, every drivers are compressed in a .wim format. So we can close the server, and the upcoming video will see the PSD module in action. We will see how we can make a capture process through the PSD MDT module. We will see the different interface. We will see interfaces different, settings are different. We'll see a lot of changes that was not in the regular MDT module. Hope this video informative for you all, and thank you all for viewing. Thank you so much.